First up, Geekthulhu. And
Geekthulhu.
BrownBomber.
Geekthulhu.
God damn it! He got what he wanted.
All right.
He's a horrible human being.
We're gonna see clips of this on Twitter or something, and then it's just gonna be like me and Red arguing like legitimate, valid points, and actually being well, it's just gonna be BrownBomber just being a fucking spastic and Geek just struggling to try and get by and realize things.
I'm gonna carry this team, Geek. Just sit down and watch me work, cunt.
Okay, Kobe.
Would women be more effective in combat, or would women be more effective in combat than men once a month?
Would women be more effective in combat once a month? No, they would not. And for the simple fact that while women may once a month, they may go through their time of the month where they kind of spurg out and rage a bit for the most part. But I don't believe that in combat that would inherently be a benefit to them, because during that time of the month, they tend to get emotionally unstable. And during times of emotional instability, particularly in high stress situations like combat, is when you can generally find these people, encountering circumstances where they tend to let loose, and usually in the wrong direction. They tend to get a little unpredictable. And so I would feel that women in combat once a month, it doesn't matter, any time of the month, really, they won't be as effective as men in combat. They still physically would not be able to carry as much. They still physically would not be able to perform all the same tasks that most men in the military would be able to. And during that time, one time of the month particularly, they'll be a lot less emotionally and psychologically capable as men are in the military. And so I don't believe that they would be as effective in combat.
I have to agree. I mean, I've known plenty of soldiers, and pretty much a man's mind goes to, defending their own. And when they see a woman in combat, they flash to female family members of, their mother, their sisters, their daughters, their cousins, people that they want to protect. And men in the military are all want to defend and protect and serve. And having a woman there is a distraction in general. And then you put them there in their once a month little problem, and it becomes everybody's problem. And the more you have there, the more they're going to cycle together, because that happens. And so you're going to have an entire unit with like half of their unit cycling, going through their different moods and their feels and their, oh, this is just too hard for me. And then the cleaning aspect, it is not clean to have a period. It is not, and so if you're out there on front lines, you can't clean up, you can't do anything about it. And then everybody else is stuck with it. So it becomes a serious inconvenience. And then a safety risk. Putting women out there for feminism's sake to reduce the stress of the feministic, ideology. Oh, we need more women. No, we don't. We need the women to do what they can do, but frontline is not it.
And if I could just clarify on a point here, is when it comes to women on the front line, especially in combat situations, one really needs to have one's head on their shoulders. One needs to be able to be very pragmatic in those situations. And so this is where you come down to the dichotomy between feels versus reals, emotions over pragmatism. And in that regard, women, particularly one time during the month for like a week, can become overly emotional. They can become quite a danger not only to themselves, but also to their squad mates, because it leaves too much room for mistakes to be made. And this is why men, being far more pragmatic in that situation, their mind immediately goes to, what is the situation at hand? How am I going to handle this? What am I going to do? What are the steps I'm going to take?
Yeah, and how can you solve this problem? A woman's just like, how can I solve my problem during that time? They are not thinking of others. I mean, we really don't. We're trying to, fix ourselves and, little minor problems. And the man is thinking of the greater scheme of things. And we actually have physical differences, and women physically cannot do as much as a man can. Just can't.
All right. That's it. Geek and Brown, it is your turn. What is your rebuttal?
Geek, shut up. I'm going first. Okay, so here's the thing. Here's why I think they'd actually be even more effective than men during their once a month time. So let's say we're out in the desert, we're shooting some packies, right? We're fighting the infamous brown people. If those women are on their time of the month, those packies can actually smell out Western whore blood. So if you leave them out as like a diversion or as bait, you could have the real men soldiers come out and shoot the packies when they get there. It's just simple strategy. When you leave a bait for a bear to come out there and he gets hit on the trap, you go ahead and shoot him when you see him because he can't move.
It's not doing your point any justice when you're laughing as you say things.
You were a horrible.
I'm not laughing. I'm not laughing. This is great. I wasn't laughing. Okay.
Hilarious. About
we should leave women on bear traps. We should just to get more blood out of them. We should hit them with a bear trap, and when they're on their time of the month, we just leave them out there. You see a squadron of packies roll up, and like, la, 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 la.
Oh my God.
And then they're there. And
Brown gets a point.
Ambush them.
Brown gets a
200
point.
points to Brown.
See, this is the inherent problem with the whole argument about women in combat is that no matter what side you're arguing it from, everyone's going to fucking laugh.
Yeah.
No,
Jesus
well,
Christ.
my partner here clearly has lost his mind. And to argue for women in a combat role, I think women would almost be superior in a combat role, especially at that time of the month. I mean, they're more aware, they're more anxious, they're more than, yeah, they're angry. They're more than willing to do the job that a man wouldn't be able to do. Clearly, I think the choice of putting women in a combat role is great. And then also, with women, you have the ability to empathize with your enemy more and maybe get in their heads and understand what the enemy might do. Whereas a man, he just follows an order. A woman leads.
I think we should just leave them out there for the packies to try and fucking shoot, but then we can ambush them. That's how we win the war on terror. Take a bunch of hot Western whores and they try to throw a hijab on them, and then we fucking shoot them.
I don't think you understand this game.
No.
I'm awaiting the argument. Okay?
He did get 200 points, so I'll give him credit for that one. Oh, God.
Chad did make a good point. We're coming up on an hour.
Yep. Any last thoughts on this topic? I'll give you guys 30 seconds.
All women are whores.
Thank you for
And that's why they shouldn't. And that's why they shouldn't be in frontline combat or anything like that, because then they're gonna be on their back instead of in the rack.
All women are single mothers, and then those single mothers, they have better periods, so they can attract packies.
Women are inherently weak. Weak people make weak soldiers. Women are shit soldiers. Plain simple.
I simply disagree. Simply disagree. Women are the strongest species, the strongest sex. I mean, look, they give birth. I mean, let's see a man try to do that.
And we get kicked in the nuts on a regular basis.
Just because we give life doesn't make us any better at taking life.
Abortion's a thing. Are you fucking retarded?
Usually it's a male doctor.
But you're fucking you're gonna. I imagine. If I were a woman, I could take a coat hanger and shove it right up my urethra. Not my urethra.
He doesn't know where babies come from.